Namaskar and welcome to MANOVAAC session. I am Seema.
And I'm Sirisha, and we are joined by our wonderful audience and Guruji. Guruji, I'll start with today's question. If we write our own destiny, why do we refer to good and bad things that happen as being divine will?
Okay. Because people love to blame. And who better than to blame God? Because God doesn't reply back. If you blame somebody else, they'll make your life miserable. They'll fight back. If you blame God, nobody's going to reply, right? But that's in lighter vein. See, it's true that we write our own destiny. We write our own blueprint. But there is a certain, I would say, a certain synchronicity that happens between divine will and personal will. Your free will. Now, in certain cases where it is significant or where it affects a large number of people, then divine play can come into play and things can alter from your personal, not change, but alter from your personal blueprint. Slight alteration is possible. But by and large, divine will comes into play more on a global basis. When it affects the direction that humanity takes, direction the planet takes, that is more of what we call divine will. And if you are the kind of person who influences that direction the planet or or humanity is taking, then yes, a lot of your blueprint will interact with divine will. But other than that, for say ordinary people who day-to-day life go about doing their work, just leading normal lives, divine will doesn't keep interfering into your life, and the good or the unfortunate incidents that happen are part of your blueprint, and you can't say that this thing happened, so I mean God has given me this punishment or God has given me this gift. No, it's part of your blueprint. You have deserved it according to your karma, according to the decisions you have made, according to the potentials that you have opened up in your destiny. You are getting what you deserve. So God doesn't micromanage anybody's life. And that is a very big misconception people have, that God interferes with each and every person's life and says, okay, chalo, you take this little bit of happiness, you take this little bit of pain. It's not like that. So divine will only plays a role in global events where the direction and the future of humanity is concerned. Other than that, individually, when you get certain help unexpectedly, which you have not even asked for sometimes, or sometimes when you just pray for it and you get a lot of, you can say, intervention, that is grace. Either that grace comes from a guru if you have one, or it can come, not necessarily always a guru, it can come from some divine source, some deity that you've been worshipping or something. That intervention is a grace, and it's not divine will or otherwise. So divine will is more on the global level concerning direction of humanity, not micromanaging each individual's life. But we like to blame God for everything.
And the free will of the soul also, no?
Free will of the soul ultimately decides everything. I mean, in your personal life.
Right, correct.
In your personal life, yeah.
Right. Guruji, the second question is it possible to strongly wish for both materialistic and spiritual life and staying inwards to find peace?
And going inwards to find peace. Yeah, definitely. It's entirely possible to have a very fulfilling material life and to have a very, I would say, effective spiritual life. They are both possible. They are not mutually exclusive. Now, when do they trample on each other is when you lose balance and you go to excesses. So, any kind of extremism in material life is bound to interfere with your spiritual life. But if you are level-headed, if you have your feet on the ground, and if your spiritual practices are making you balance day by day, or you can enjoy a extremely, I would say, satisfying material life. It's not that you have to become an ascetic, you have to leave your family, your wealth, your comfort, and only then pursue spiritual life. No, that is a misconception. You can do that also, but most people are not cut out for that. I would say 99% of people are not cut out for that. We have to live in our environment, in our families, in our homes. We can't not do that. And that doesn't mean that you push the spiritual life out of your,
Life.
your activities. So both can go hand in hand beautifully, provided you have balance. And provided you don't overindulge in the material part, which will then cause its own problems, because then the competition, the jealousy, the anger, the greed will be like a snowball effect. So if you can keep it to a reasonably, I would say, a rational level and not get carried away, I think you can have an extremely satisfying material life and be completely spiritual.
Enjoy best of
And you enjoy best of both the worlds. And that is precisely what I try to teach each and every person, that you don't have to become an ascetic. You just need to balance your life and balance the material and the spiritual part of it. Because the spiritual part is very personal. You don't need to wear a label, or you don't need to wear it on your sleeve to be spiritual. That is something inside and within. The changes and the transformation takes place within and in your mind, and the way you think and the way you feel. So that nobody has a claim on that. You can keep doing that and outside live a relatively normal material life with a family, with people around you.
And there's it's not necessary to segregate it so much and just intertwine.
You have to know how to integrate it.
Yes,
rather than segregate, you should learn how to integrate it in your,
balance
of course. And it is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible.
Thank you.
Many times there is little hidden fear somewhere that if we indulge in material, we may not completely go on the other side. So
You can.
So
Yeah, that's why I said if you indulge too much into the material thing, you can lose track, because greed and then jealousy and competitiveness, all that takes over.
or just like you get busy on that front, like
Your
even if
time
you go
factor.
a little more ambitious.
Time factor also is a problem.
Also is a
I
problem.
agree with you.
And then it may affect. So the balance is, if it starts affecting your spiritual life,
Yeah,
then
and
I think you
if
should
it starts
be
affecting your spiritual life, not only in a sense of time, but also in your emotions
or
and
thoughts.
your thinking and the way you interact with people, then yes, then you have a problem.
So
Then
that is where the red line
that's the red flag. Correct. That's the red flag.
Dear audience, do you have any question to ask on this topic? How to balance spiritual and material? I think all of you are
Pretty good at it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, it's my turn now. Guruji, the question is from Meha, and what she has asked here is, I think, again, spiritual, what we call spiritual in outside world, it's like fashion. Certain things come and go, certain things become a hot topic and then they fade away and it's replaced by something new. So even I am hearing this about Akashic records. So here is the question. Is the concept of Akashic records true? And then how can one access it? It's sadhana and intent a way to it, or is there anything more to connect with this wisdom? First, though, I want to know what is Akashic record, and then how to access it, why to access it, what is the use of accessing it. All those will follow. Questions will follow.
Okay. Yeah, I know. This Akashic records is a big mystery for people, you know, and there are so many misconceptions, and these misconceptions are at times fed by people for their own personal benefit and monetary agenda. You see, when you talk of Akashic records, people immediately imagine that there is a library, a huge library in the spirit world, where you say, okay, so now your name is Seema, so you'll go and look up, okay, Seema, and then you'll pull out that book, and then you'll see, okay, these are my Akashic records. Last lifetime I was this, previous lifetime I was this, previous lifetime I was this. You know, people have this kind of a complete misconception. The Akashic records is not a library where you can go and punch a card and take out your book and read it. It's not like that. I'll tell you, now these are the secrets of the spirit world which very few people disclose or even know for a fact. You see, when a person dies, you go into your astral body. I mean, you are now existing in your astral body. Let's put it that way. The physical body becomes 5 elements, it goes back to it. You live your life in the astral world. And at some point of time, you come back into the physical. So, what happens to that astral body which you have existed in during those years that you were in the spirit world or the astral world? What happens is, when you take birth again, that shell, astral body, which you've used, the old one, okay, that becomes your Akashic record.
Oh, okay.
That casing is your Akashic record for that lifetime.
And you get a new one for
and
the
obviously
new...
you get a new one when you are born again, because you are born in a different form, in a different body.
I thought it's energy body. It's
an
not
energetic body.
Going to get
but
destroyed.
Energy cannot be destroyed. That is the whole issue, and that is what people don't understand and don't know. Though they claim to be experts in Akashic records, they don't know what really Akashic records are. So now this shell that you've cast out to take a new birth on planet Earth, that becomes your Akashic record, and that casing with that lifetime's details, who you were, what you did, it is a semi-autonomous shell. So it is not dead.
Oh.
See, it's very difficult to explain the concepts of that dimension, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible.
It's like part of me still alive somewhere.
Exactly. It doesn't have a soul. It doesn't have a soul. It is a casing. Remember that. But it is a casing which has the records, and that casing is responsive. Meaning, if you access it, it will give you the information what you want. But it will only give the information what is recorded in it. It cannot give you any other information. So now, just listen. So now suppose I want to access my Akashic record of my previous lifetime. So what I will have to do, assuming I could do it, I will have to connect with that casing and read or get the information of everything I did in the last lifetime. But it will not, that casing will not tell me what my previous lifetime was, previous to that.
Okay.
Or the third or the fourth one. For that, I will have to go to my other casings.
Oh my God.
And read those casings. Do you understand? So it is a very complex thing to even imagine by our rational human mind, how that whole system works. And like that, billions and billions of people have taken birth in various incarnations.
Thousands of
So there are innumerable, countless casings
lying.
lying there, going around. I mean, they are casings, they are floating around. I mean, it's just a record. It's just a record in that form. But it's very difficult for us to understand this concept in human terms,
I know. I'm barely able to understand it, like a hard disk from my previous computer, which I have removed and put a new hard disk. So,
and those cases. So what happens is in many of these seances and communication, they try to contact the casing if they can, and the casing responds and gives you that minimum amount of information. But now if you ask the casing that, okay, tell me, will I be successful in my exams in next year, or will my business make money in future? Those answers will not come. Or if they do, it's some other, it's that person's mental thing answering you, or some other mischievous spirit that is answering you. The casing is not answering that. But the casing will give you the record of what that lifetime was, who you were, what you did. And this casing is also accessible to other souls in the astral world.
okay.
Yes.
So if I have contacted some spirit, that spirit can read my
read
casing
your casing and imitate
manipulate
you
also.
and manipulate you through the medium.
Okay.
Yes. So that is why it's very dangerous to indulge in all these mediumistic activities, because you don't understand the spirit world and you don't understand how it works.
And there is no way to verify.
There is absolutely no way to verify. And you can get that information. So suppose you say, okay, I'm calling my great grandfather's spirit. Now his casing is there. He probably taken birth on the planet, but his casing is there, his record is there. So when you get the information through the medium, yes, you will get correct information about him, and you will think you're contacting that grandfather when he's not there. The soul is not inside the casing.
Okay.
But
So the casing is responding.
The casing is responding.
Because you are
The shell is responding.
addressing to that lifetime.
You are addressing to that lifetime. Correct. So it is a very complex, I would say, system that operates in this Akashic record. It's not like a plug and play thing that, okay, you just pull out your name is this, because every time you have a different name, so you first have to know what name you were in the previous lifetime.
Oh my God.
But of course, in the spirit world, you can find out.
They know it.
But in the physical world, you don't know what you were in the last, what name you had and all that. So it's not like, you can just open up some library door and say, okay, chalo, now I'll entertain myself with my past 5 lifetimes. Rubbish. It doesn't happen that way. Yes, certain very advanced souls can go into the astral world and retrieve the information, or through a very friendly spirit whom they sometimes contact, they can access that information. But then all this is out of the sphere of normal human beings, and I think they should be left alone.
Another question comes to my mind. Why do we have to know our Akashic? It's
Absolutely.
actually past.
It's the past.
So,
a lot of people like to, firstly they get entertained by knowing what they were in previous lifetime. So everyone thinks they were like some Raja, Maharaja, or some great person. Nobody says I was a beggar or I was a prostitute or something like that. So nobody says that. Everyone thinks they are cream of society.
Not only this, Guruji, but now, like I said, it's a trending topic nowadays. And what they claim is we will clear your Akashic records.
No clearing of Akashic records. How can you clear Akashic records? Akashic records is just a record. Yes, you can clear your karmas. You cannot clear your Akashic records. That's ridiculous. I mean, that doesn't happen. Well, that's read only. ROM.
Yes.
Read only memory. Akashic records. You can't manipulate that.
So it's like going your past life, through past life regression.
It is like a past life regression, but in past life regression, you are actually living and trying to see it because that memory exists in you. And here it is a record which you're reading.
You are reading.
So that is the only, and that is the record is more authentic. Because when you're doing a past life regression, a lot of times it is subjective.
Your fancies or your
own imagination can throw up a lot of things. The person who's leading you on to a regression, that may suggest something and you may say it. So that could be subjective. This is objective provided you know how to actually access Akashic records, which is very, very difficult being a human being.
So, is there any provision to alter those Akashic records so that
how can you alter them?
That is what is claimed. Ki if you alter Akashic records, you see certain changes in this lifetime.
No, it's not that you can alter the Akashic records. It is if you can read them, then maybe you can take some corrective action. That is all. So, if you have say drowned in a certain lifetime, or if you say died in a fire or something, and you have these, or say you've been murdered or something, then you have these phobias and fears. So you can deal with them. Or if you had a very bitter experience or traumatized hugely by another soul, and that same soul comes in a very different form in this lifetime, then those kind of healing things can be done. But provided you actually have the means to access those records correctly, which is very difficult from the physical realm.
And in the wrong hands, a person can complicate their lives further.
A lot of times you can complicate your lives if the information is incorrect or incomplete, and which you'll never know. Or it's completely wrong also sometimes.
There is
no authentication of it. There is no, you don't get an authenticated certificate, okay, this is your last lifetime casing, It's not like that.
Audience, yes, Asha, just pass on the mic.
So Guruji, since we, write our blueprint in the astral world, so, and then we take birth.
Right.
So does the Akashic record have any insights which were done, while writing the blueprint, which could help us in our current life?
That's the only way you can write a blueprint, if you have access to your Akashic records, because then you will know what things you have done in previous lifetimes and why you need to improve and what karmas you need to complete. Because otherwise that balance of karma is with you, with your soul. It is attached to your soul. So unless you have a record, okay, you read that and say, I've done all these things, I need to improve on this, or I need to settle these accounts. Only then can you write the blueprint of a future lifetime.
So
otherwise
basically all our satkarmas and dushkarmas are recorded over there.
Everything.
So
everything is recorded. That's how you access it.
Or the experiences that we need to take.
The experiences are with the soul.
Experiences
are with the soul. Experiences are not with the casing.
Okay.
Because once you move out of the casing and take another birth, the casing becomes empty. It doesn't have a soul.
So it's just the information.
It's just information.
Okay.
It's just that same shape, same shape of your body and same thing. It's a casing with the information.
Even the face?
Even the face. Even the face.
My God, this is really amazing. Anyone else has any question? Okay. Fair enough. I think you have answered all our queries. And if there is no need to go back into the past,
no, there is.
It should be kept undisturbed.
I think this whole rigmarole of going into past life and accessing Akashic record, it's mostly a hoax, and unless it is done with phenomenal, I would say, ability to actually access such things, it should be left alone and not be bothered with. Human beings are taught to be, to look into the future, not look behind.
Into the past.
That is why you don't have a memory of the past. Because that is a very disturbing factor in a lot of cases. I mean, yes, you might be able to cure one odd problem with it, but you can create 5 problems for yourself in this lifetime by going back into a past lifetime.
And there are no shortcuts. Nothing can be changed at that level. You have to
You have to go
complete
through
certain
it.
things,
You
learn
have to
certain
go
things
through it. You
and-
have to take your experiences. Your soul has to learn. It's just, there are no quick fixes to these things. You know, I mean, people offer these quick fix solutions. That is really a con game.
And also you won't know whether it's actually handled at that level. It's just that you feel, okay, I have corrected my Akashic record at some level.
Yeah, that person will tell you, okay, now your Akashic records are clear and now you're all happy and good, and you'll go out and get an accident and like burn yourself or something. But it's much of a muchness.
So basically, trust nature. If it has hidden certain things, it's for our good. Don't dig out anything when it's not required.
No, look forward. Don't
forward.
look behind. That's the whole idea.
Yes, Alifia. She has a question.
So, Guruji, you said that while we are writing a destiny, we may look at the Akashic record or the casing to write. So, how many casings do we look at, or we look at only the last casing?
No, you can look at as many as you want. You can see, again, as I said, it's very difficult for us humans to understand how the spirit dimension works. But no, you can look at all your casings simultaneously over there.
While you're writing your...
While you're writing your destiny, yeah. Writing means not actually take a paper and pen, but it is energetic writing, you can say, yeah.
Okay. So you refer to many...
Obviously, you have to. All that they are relevant, all the relevant ones will come to you.
So, Guruji, on a lighter note, why are these casings, so many different casings there? I mean, why can't we just have like a collection of one, which is a collection of...
No. See, again, you're thinking like a human.
Because I'm just thinking, like, if you have so many casings, I mean, you said like there are...
No, because
like,
so many lifetimes you've
correct.
lived.
So
Every lifetime you'll have one casing, no? Because you've finished that lifetime, you've gone up, you've lived that astral life, and now you've come as a human being. So that casing is obviously going to remain. You can't destroy it.
It's energy.
So it's energy. So it will remain. That astral body will remain as a casing.
And it serves a purpose.
Of course, it serves a purpose.
So,
okay. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Alifia. That was an interesting question. And thank you, viewers, for joining us for MANOVAAC. Stay with us for many more such episodes. Thank you.